what's next? Well, you could have guessed it, the power supply. We are going to start by removing this little back cover for the power supply. Just get a Phillips head screwdriver, pop out these 4 screws. Alright, and when you do that, this will pop right off. Even says top right there, so you know which end is up. Alright, so here I have the Corsair TX 650M power supply. Look at all that. Tons of wires. They all get to go in there. So, first thing to do is to put into place. Look at that nice fit right there. It's like it was made for it. So this power supply came with some screws, or you could use the screws that came with the case. But we will take those screws out of the bag here in order to put this framework piece onto the power supply. Alright, so one goes here, and the 4th one goes here. So that was all pretty obvious. It was really the only spots that were available. So now we use a screwdriver to secure each one of those. Very nice. Alright, so now take all these excess wires and let's just kind of run them through. And for now, I'm just going to pull them up the top, get them out of the way so they're not impeding with anything else. I'm going to go ahead and connect this one to the motherboard. It's going to get put into place there, right here at the top. So if you look carefully at the shape of these little teeth in there, you can see on the motherboard that they correspond with a shape. So they only go, it's only going to plug in one way, and I believe I've figured that out now. Okay, it's this way. I nearly forgot to install the SATA cable that's going to connect from the motherboard to the hard drive. So this cable comes with your motherboard, so essentially you just line up the little L-shaped key there with the appropriate location, and this is really close to the other items that we had installed earlier, and it just pops into place there as you saw. And now we're going to bring it around the side here and install. There's a similar shaped key on the hard drive that we initially mounted, and that pops into place as you heard. Additionally, we need to take one of these power connectors from the power supply. I'm going to take this furthest one out and send it through to provide power to the hard drive as well. So you should see a similar L-shaped pattern for that power connection. and it will pop into place. Some other items that we can go ahead and provide power to are the fans. We have one on the side here, and then of course the one on the front that we were looking at earlier. And so to connect those, we have these little connector pieces. You'll see this piece that comes off of the front end will connect with the power supply here, and they will go into place like that. And there's another one along the side here, this little side fan. Same deal there. Just kind of, you can go ahead and unravel it. They give you plenty of wire. And go ahead and match those pieces up. Press them together. And there we have it. Alright, so now we've connected both of those fans to the power supply. Here's that 3.0 USB wire. I'm going to bring it through the internal case, and there's a location on the motherboard for it to connect to. So let's see, it should have, yeah, there's one side that has a little clip on the side. Make sure that you're lining that correctly. It's also got one little blocked out pin, so you want to make sure that all those pins are lining up just right, and simply plug that into place. There's one last connection you have to make with the power supply, and that is the CPU 12 volt. You may see this, it may look like that, all connected as one piece, but you can just break that apart. One will have squared edges and with the notched edges as well, and then some of them, the other one will have all notched edges. In this case, I'm going for the one with the squared edges, and that just drops right into the 12 volt location here. Alright, plugs right in. There we go. And that is now good to go. What I'm finally ready to do is to bring the power supply into place here. Now you can see it's really, all these wires are kind of messy looking. So my main goal here is going to be to prop this up into place, and then after that we're going to focus on cleaning house a little bit with these wires. So the first thing we want to do is just kind of get the excess wires out of the way, make a little space for the power supply, and take your time. Make sure you're not forcing anything into place. There we go. Get those screws nice and snug with your screwdriver. Make sure everything is nice and solid. There we go. Our power supply is now in place.